Yo, what's good, everybody? Joey J. Ping here, checking in live, man. RespectMyRegion.com. We're back again on another episode of the Missouri Cannabis Podcast. Today, our journey is brought to you guys by Trees. They are the premier cannabis ERP software for retailers and brands alike. They have committed themselves to growing revenue for their retail clients and future partners, point of sale, analytics, e-commerce, white glove service, you name it. Now, today's episode, folks, is not about Trees. It's about our very special guest. We have the head of sales for Smokey River Cannabis, Hunter Eads, in the building. Hunter, welcome. How are you coming in today from the Midwest? How you rocking?
Right on. I'm pretty good, man. Thanks for the introduction. Doing pretty good. We've got a Midwest heat wave going on right now.
Wow.
Expected for the whole week. So besides that, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a good Monday.
It's 70 degrees there, you said offline. So the heat wave for you guys is 70 degrees, and it's still the end of winter. So you guys are opposite weather right now. This is incredible.
Yeah. It's really good. I mean, there's still piles around the area. You drive down the interstate, and there's snow on the ground still from last week.
Yep.
But it's 70 and sunny today, so we'll take that.
Let's go. Sunny and 70 in Missouri. Now, specifically, where are you at in the world? Missouri has two major cities, but it also has a variety of other, what I would describe as large towns and small Midwest towns as well. Where are you at in the great state of Missouri?
Yep, definitely. So we're over on the KC side. Our brand originated in a little town just north of KC called Dearborn.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a little shack out in the middle of nowhere is where our lab's located.
That's sick.
Yeah.
The super lab, super kitchen where you guys create a variety of products. I looked on your guys' website. Smokey River is home to 4 different categories of products. There might be more. I just looked at the site. Yep. I saw pre-rolls, gummies, cartridges, and concentrates. But concentrates and cartridges and even gummies can have a variety of categories underneath that, right?
Absolutely.
Can you tell me a little bit about Smokey River's product offering within your brand?
Okay. So yeah, as you went down that list, you'll notice that we don't have flour, like an eighth or an ounce or anything. And that is basically, I go around and tell everybody, we do everything except that. We have pre-rolls, we have infused pre-rolls, we have vapes, anywhere from a half gram to a live gram. We have that in live resin or rosin. We have them in distillate carts. We have 12 SKUs of gummies in total. So 5 flavors. We have those in high and low dose. And then we also have a day and a nighttime. One thing that I like about our nighttime gummy, so a lot of people use melatonin in their gummy to kind of knock you out, and it's just distillate and melatonin, and people are really hit or miss with that. People either really like melatonin or really hate it. Yep. So we kind of wanted to steer away from it, and we infused it with a underlying chamomile tea for like that sedative effect.
Nice.
And CBN.
I love that, dude. I have been taking the 1-to-1-to-1 ratios from a variety of brands in the edible world for specifically sleep pretty consistently the last year. I love the 5-5-5 THC, CBD, CBN. And shout out to the people out there that are nano emulsifying 1, 2, or all 3 of those cannabinoids to make it hit faster. But one thing I notice is that when you leave the CBD opposite of nano, just regular, it hits you later on and kind of extends the other effects, right? And I always wake up really, really refreshed off of those products. And so I'm hopefully one day I get to try your guys' stuff here soon. What would you say what's your favorite, Hunter? I mean, you're selling it out there, right? I'm sure people ask you like, dude, hit me with the best, hit me with your favorite, hit me with what sells the fastest. I'm a sales guy. I know what it's like to take orders from these accounts.
Yeah.
So what are you stocking people up with? What are you excited to give the people?
So our gummies are definitely the thing that fly off the shelves. Our high dose gummies in the Missouri market, they're just really affordable and they're really tasty. If you like a gummy bear, that's kind of the consistency we go for. Okay. So they are a gelatin base. So if you're vegan, that really turns people off. They don't have that pectin base, but pectin's more of that Sour Patch Kids consistency. And so that is kind of, all day long, I'll recommend it. The high dose gummies, it's 10 100 milligram pieces, come in little square shapes. I call them kind of coffins because they put you in the ground if you eat them. But like,
dude,
and no, so those are my favorite because I'm a big gummy cat and I have a pretty high tolerance. So a couple of those at the end of the night really winds me down. But besides that, kind of what everyone at the lab really takes their pride and joy in is definitely our concentrate. We have the solventless line. We have our BHO line. We also have our carts on 420. Actually, we're going to be launching the disposable hardware. because I'm sure, as you know, you go around, really the best kind of taste you're going to get for any live rosin, live resin product. The hardware just seems to be best in a disposable pen.
Isn't
So
that
I'm excited
weird?
for that.
Isn't that weird how it doesn't like just the experience between the all-in-one disposables, right, versus the cartridges? Just how that comes together is an entirely different but quite similar experience. Like those
Yeah,
who,
yeah,
it's classic. If you know, right? Like
yeah, yeah.
if you can tell, you can tell, right?
So no, we're excited for that. I've been telling everybody, that for kind of to lean on, if you know, you know. If you know about the live rosin cart and you like it, then you're already just gonna appreciate what we're doing more. But this is also kind of a way. I've also realized disposables. That's as entry level as you can get. You don't need anything. It's plug and play. You take it out of the box and it's ready to go. You don't need a battery or anything. So I'm excited to get our rosin in more people's hands that it hasn't been, just because of the ease of use that we're going to be dropping.
Mm-hmm. Man, what do you notice that you guys maybe do certain strains? Like people are like, oh, we crush it at growing indicas, or we crush it at candies, or the OGs, or the sativas are our thing. Which nobody says that they crush it at growing sativas because they don't commercially grow a ton of them. But let's just say, like, what do you guys consider yourself to be like? Yeah, man, we crush it at this, man. Like we do this at a very high level, right? Is it the disty? Is it the rosin? Is it this gummy? Is it this flavor? Right? What do you? What's like the top three bangers from Smokey River, man?
Absolutely. And so we have to source all our own flowers. So that is
Okay, it's a
it's
challenge.
a challenge, but it's also a blessing, right? Because
Mhm.
then we get to decide to a degree. We get to curate our menu of what we want to put out. We don't have to deal with we have a bunk harvest, and we have to deal with it. No, we get to go and source premium flower. So that's been a great experience. Go around and curating these relationships with everyone around the state, as to what we feel grows the best flower. And then we have a saying, fire in, fire out, right? And
Yeah.
so with that being the backbone of everything we do, I would say our rosin and any of our concentrates, we have excellent extraction SOPs, solventless or with solvent.
You guys are buying material and extracting it yourself.
Yep.
Cool.
And then I know we have one of the biggest ethanol distillation setups in the state, so that is definitely
Pumping out disty crude.
yeah our powerhouse
Yeah,
that
I
we
mean,
can.
the reality is that that's the top selling product, right, for vapes at the end of the day, and then also too with edibles at the end. Like that's the base, that's the medium, that's the
Absolutely.
machine, right? Also,
And
it tastes the less. It's the least aggressive in terms of I'll call it flavonoids and terpenes that you don't want
yeah,
in the actual taste element of the experience.
absolutely, I agree with that. And it's easier to control whenever you're trying to make a batch. You're trying to cook with it because you know it's a high testing pure product every time, and you extract it down to that, and it's consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas even when you're extracting solventless and you're trying to make a solventless gummy line, that fluctuation of potency is something you have to keep in mind.
I mean, we have to dispel the myth together that every batch is not the same, you guys. They
Yeah,
can make the candy, right? The candy and the terpenes can be the same, right? The gummies, the chocolates, the food, even like the flavoring of the vape, the flavoring of the flower, like we do this many drops every time. This is how many whatever it is. Like that can be the same. But in terms of cannabis, right, Hunter? Every single distillate uh, um, not batch of distillate, but batch to batch of flour, batch to batch of gummies and carts and all these things, they're going to be different
hmm
because the plant is different every time,
yeah,
right? And so that expectation of, oh, we want the same experience every time, you can get really close, but we can't factually do it every time in cannabis, which
exactly.
is the beauty and also the curse, right? We try to get as close as we can. We try to grow as close as we can. We try to manufacture as consistently as we can, but ultimately those cannabinoids are going to be different in each of these different batches, which is cool. Now, my next question for you guys is, you guys make all these products. You're there in Kansas City. Smoky River, where's that from? How did you guys get the name? Where's that? I know that's an important thing down there in KC, but tell the people, let the people know about Smoky River. How'd you guys choose the name? Where'd that come from?
So it definitely just comes from we're on the river. We're on the Missouri River. Um, we're launched out of the KC area. A lot of us live right on the river,
Nice.
and
Y'all are
So
Smokey on the river, huh?
yeah, and it just it flows well per se, and we just ran with it.
Simple as that. Simple, clean. I like. I feel like isn't there like an event series or something down there, Smoky River, or is there like a? Am I thinking
There
of something? Am I confusing you with something?
there used to be, but it kind of got put on hold for a while. That
Ah,
just the state and everything about. There's a lot of compliance issues that Missouri really throws around that no one really expected. So,
so that was one
fingers
of those
crossed.
things where it was like, let's do it and push the limits, and then they reacted. The state
hmm
reacted, and now
hmm
we're like, oh yeah, we got to figure this out and revisit it again.
Yeah, to a degree.
That's what I was because I was trying to look it up, and I saw something that come up, and we were invited a couple years ago to some things, and so I just wanted to clarify the difference between the groups and all that stuff. So it's cool to see that you guys are small town chefs in the kitchen and making these different products and extracting, curating flour from other people. You use that phrase "fire in, fire out."
hmm
For the customers that are out there, right? Obviously, this is the industry can watch as much as they want, but this is a brand introduction to the customers, people who are interested in products like yours in Missouri. What does "fire in, fire out" mean to the customers?
Okay, so it's that fireweed that you go to the dispo to buy. That's what we're searching for as the input material for our lab to process for you, right? The thing we pride ourselves on is our extraction methods,
Mm-hmm.
and so you we could polish a turd into a diamond, is what I'm saying, but we would never want to do that. We want to get the best material we can, fire in, and then we're guaranteed to give you fire on the out. So it's just a tried and true method. Um, that's where we like to start.
I think, and again for the customers, a lot of people joke about, oh, we could polish a turd and make it into diamond, and it's funny because it's kind of true. Realistically, the science for cannabis is that you could take weed that's been on the floor, you could take trim that's been dusty, dirty. It's not even about the pesticides. You could just literally take dirty things and you could run it through distillate extraction
hmm
processes, and you could do it a couple passes, a couple times, rounds, if you would, right? And
Yep.
ultimately get it down to a 40 to 60 to 80% THC, depending on how lucky you are,
Oh
right?
yeah, liquid gold.
Yeah,
But
liquid gold. And if it wasn't for testing and labs, it would be easy for people to come over on people like that. And so it's important, people, for those of you guys watching, to really think about and find brands that care about these things that he's talking about, that care about maintaining fire in, fire out processes. And again, to break that down, they go looking for weed. They go to different farms, right? Y'all are looking for fresh frozen or trim or just stuff that's been stored properly and still maintains this. I would call it just a non-grassy smell to some
yeah,
degree.
yeah.
Pretty much anything non-grassy is kind of good to go and will turn into something decent that can become a decent product, right?
hmm
Lower potency things can be used for lower dose items. Higher potency consistent things can be turned into other stuff. And then there's varying grades to the oil. So I think it's really interesting, how brands are the different ways that people can operate in this space. I think it's cool that you guys are finding success. Big shout out to your guys' team. Big shout out to the extractors on the squad. Big shout out to all the science and the time it took to learn all the science to be able to do this at such a high level. There's the safety precautions that go into this. There's a lot. Well, ultimately though, Hunter, what do you feel makes you guys truly stand out? Is it the commitment to these certain levels? Is it just the products actually are super phenomenal across the board? When you guys go into these meetings and as the head of sales, ultimately, why should someone carry you on the shelf, right?
Well, so there's a lot of answers to that, right? We have a very affordable product. We have a top tier product, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you just wanted to get to the baseline of a lot of people are more and more shop local, right? People love to support a local brand. We were born in KC, just north of KC, right? In that small town of Dearborn.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone that's in the lab is a highly devoted person to the industry. They were doing it years before they could in their lab. And now everyone takes all that passion that they had for years, myself included, and we get to come to work and bring that with us every day, right? And
Yeah.
everyone in the company knows each other like intimately. The owner knows everybody in the lab. knows what's going out, and we pride ourselves very much on what we can do in this market. So that's one thing, that it's kind of small batch perfection, a lot of what we do. And I think a lot of people would find that endearing, right? They would value that.
Mm-hmm. I think those are all perfect examples of reasons why someone should support you guys. I mean, where I'm from, people support local. We like small businesses. We like passionate teams. The product, it's got to be good too, right? At the end of the day, I think there's no ifs, ands about that. Now we're already 15 minutes in, Hunter. So I want to take a moment to pivot a little bit. Let's also shout out our sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you guys by Trees. Visit trees.io to tap in, learn more about that, you guys. Cannabis ERP software, point of sale, e-com, analytics data, white glove service. You guys actually want to make money with your retail? Call it my homies at Trees. It just goes without saying. Now, Hunter, I want to learn about you.
Okay.
How did you get into cannabis? Tell me your story about how you got to become the head of sales for this dope ass company there in Missouri, bro. How did this all happen?
It's kind of a crazy story, actually. So I'm originally from Indiana, and it's still fully legal in Indiana.
What town?
So Seymour, Indiana
Okay,
is
I've never heard
probably
of it.
the biggest name. But you know where the IU campus is,
Yep.
Bloomington. I'm like
Yep.
40 minutes east of that.
So you in the little town.
Yeah, little town, 2 stoplights, graduating class of 80.
Illegal weed as fuck. Now all of a sudden running shit over at Smokey River. Let's
Yeah,
go.
and so the in I got was when I was 7. I played Halo 3 with this dude. I met him in Halo 3,
Wow.
and for better half of 20 years, we played video games together. And I ended up getting into the manufacturing side of pharmaceuticals back home. And he got into the manufacturing side at Smokey River, and he still runs the pre-roll department over. Shout out Dakota. And so he got me a phone interview, and I got the job over the phone, and then I moved that weekend. And
dude, that's so cool.
and so I started out. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Everyone was like, "What are you doing?" And I started out in the pre-roll department, and I kind of cross-trained around the lab. Then I kind of just wanted to go out in the field a little bit. Was doing some BA work, going out doing pop-ups. Just worked my way up, and
absolutely. Hustle.
Through passion, and to show that I care about the industry, I care about our company, and I want to put the best thing out for us. I think that showed for itself.
No, that's absolutely incredible, man. It's crazy because I grew up in Mooresville, Indiana, and very rarely meet people ever from Indiana or in Indiana in general. I feel like people in Indiana kind of stay there.
Yeah, forever.
Which a lot of people can say that about a lot of places, but it's a small state. There's not a ton of people going into it and all the things there. So it's dope to have seen you putting on for that state, man. It's super cool.
Go Hoosiers.
About your journey being through video gaming. I can't tell you how many times I've heard about and watched those videos taken by wives and typically in girlfriends, when a dude that they're dating finally meets that gaming buddy that they've had, like what you're talking about. And this takes it to a whole nother level, man. I think that's super inspiring. It's super cool. I go back and it almost makes me wish, like, damn, who was I playing Halo with back when Xbox Live first dropped? Because I was in my high school years, 14, 15, 16, during the very, first editions of Halo and Xbox Live. How cool is that to think that like that translated into a real career with you,
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I guess I was always meant to network to a degree, I made something out of talking to a dude over the internet. So.
Right. No, I wouldn't say by any means that I'm a successful sales rep currently or that I'm crushing it by any means. I've had my months in the past where, the timing was everything. And then I did the work that was asked and I showed up and, I've had a couple good months in sales, and I've shared articles and press releases about what I did to see that success, just so that way other people could see it as well. In your world, you're the head, you're a leader of the team. Regardless of how long you've been in that position or your opinion of your success, what do you currently do to really work towards seeing success as the leader and in sales for Smokey River?
So I constantly am just meeting with the team. The big thing that we want to do is bring something new to the market. There's a lot of really great products that I think we could make extremely well. But there's a couple pieces that I don't want to drop too much right now, but that we've come up with and we'll be dropping this coming year.
Oh, so
That
you
no one,
guys have some like maybe some training or incentives or something that you guys are gonna do something cool. You don't have
yeah,
to say
yeah,
anything,
yeah,
but you guys got something up your sleeve that
yeah.
part of it.
And but also the big thing that's a big point to our success is we constantly want to try and innovate and figure out how to make our product the best that it can be. And then as far as incentivizing, we do offer, a lot of things to stores, right? For people that carry our products. We love to reward the bud tenders that are fans or aren't fans of us. But just anything in general, right? You have to make the whole world go round, and it all starts with the customer. Make them happy, and then it goes to the bud tender, make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way I've always viewed it, and it's worked out pretty well for me. So
Passion, drive, consistency, and kind of following some of those key important elements. The buyer and the bud tender are two different things, and they require different support. Some more than others. Getting the sale is one thing, supporting it is another. Powerful. Okay, so we've talked about where you guys source your cannabis from. We talked about how fire in, fire out, so that ensures some of the quality. Do you guys do for the for the edibles? Do you guys do strain specific concentrates, or is it just a general disty, or is there, walk me through the layers to those products for you?
So right now, just for our edibles, it is just a distillate 50/50 straight down the middle
Mm-hmm.
hybrid for our low dose and our high dose. And then we do have two SKUs. We have one that is a daytime sativa leaning. It has CBG and caffeine in it.
Oh,
And
dope.
then yeah. And then we have the nighttime that has that chamomile and CBN.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
yeah, that
give it
chamomile.
that
Mm-hmm.
nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
So the only strain specific thing that we really have right now is our distillate carts, I guess you could say. We add terpenes to those from specific strains, and those are always our staple. We'll always have those, like New York City Diesel and
Yeah.
Strawberry Cough and things like that. We Like I said, it's hard to have a staple strain because we bounce from people to people that we like to get the flower from. Someone's got really good flower over here, and it's a whole different skew of strains that they're growing than what we were getting earlier. So it's kind of exciting because on the concentrate side, I guess that means we never get stagnant. We have a great revolving door of ever changing strains, and sometimes we get things that we really liked, and I know we've really liked Super Booth a lot, so we've repeatedly got that. We've liked Jungle Pie, we've repeatedly got that. Papa Burger's been a good one, we've repeatedly got that. So there are a
Mm.
couple staples that you'll see, I'd say probably for a year or so, and then maybe kind of hit the door a little bit as people's grows kind of swap out what they're going to be growing for this year.
It's fun trying to balance that, I would imagine, with what the farmers are harvesting, because they're gonna go based on their own schedules and their own creative things. But I would imagine maybe some of them have partnerships where they know that X amount of material is going to lead to Y amount of product being sold to you guys or other
Mhm.
white label partners and things like that. So that's pretty dope. Let's talk a little bit about the community. Let's talk a little bit about Missouri. What is Smoky River? What kind of stuff are you guys participating in around the state? What do y'all do to get out there and get with the people? What is even going on out there in the first place?
And so that is something very exciting for 2025 that we are going to be doing. 2024, we didn't really get out there and do a whole lot. Of course, we had a couple pop-ups here and there, but 2025, we really want to hit the ground hard and go out and be kind of in the community's face a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that comes to mind that we're going to be doing is we're going to Comic-Con this
Oh,
month.
cool.
So in the next couple weeks, if anyone's at Comic-Con, stop by, check out our booth.
That's
That's
dope.
always good. Some
What a
weed and
cool
some
That's definitely an adjacent community and culture to
yeah,
Canada.
absolutely. So one thing that we'd really love to do is get into kind of the heady scene, and we'd love to have host events, consumption events going into the future, and that's one
Mm-hmm.
thing we've always wanted to do. We see a couple brands go around doing it, And so be on the lookout for that in the coming months. We'll definitely be getting those together, throwing them out for the crowd.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. What are some of your favorite things to be a part of out there?
My favorite thing.
Do you go out to like concerts? Do you ever go to sporting events? What do you do out in the regular world?
Yeah, so out in the regular world.
What was the Comic-Con idea you?
No, you know, it's a mixture of some heads coming together.
Love that.
And so no, I like music. I like to go to festivals if I can, but it's hard to get away from work sometimes. I'm a big traveling cat. I just like to see things. I like to see how people live in other areas of the country, even not the world. I'm not out of the country yet, but I'd love to at some point in my life. But you just go to little crevices of the world, little small towns, and you know they've always got great restaurants and nice people. Typically, that's really what I like to do in my spare time. And so that being said, with people, there's a lot of people that come to Missouri now. The Chiefs are big. And one thing that I'd love for them to remember if they visit a small town in Missouri or visit KC in Missouri is that they've got some fire weed, and I hope we can contribute to that memory.
Of course, man. We didn't really touch on some of the concentrates. What are the available concentrate types that you guys sell? Is it live? Is it cured? Is it rosin? What are all the different ones you guys do there?
So we do live everything. We don't do a cured concentrate. Cool. Live rosin and our live resin.
So terps.
We don't. Yeah. We don't CRC anything. And so you get full flavor. What you see is what you get. And we don't do shatter, but every other consistency.
Okay. So the sugary, little crumbly wax, and then probably getting into some of the more terpene meats, microcrystal.
Yep.
Saucy jarness, and then diamonds too.
Yep. Absolutely.
Nice, dude.
And we have kind of dabbled with. We'd love to hone in a tech to get solventless diamonds and get the rosin jam going. Right now, we just have our baller bucket variety, which is 3.5 grams, and our 1 gram jars of rosin and our BHO line.
That's fire. Yeah, I look forward to that. Do you have a favorite from your concentrates that you guys do?
Ooh, so I would say probably right now that we got out, we have some BHO butter. I'm a fan of butter consistency, so I like to be able to have it a little malleable and roll it up if you want. But Gary Poppins is really tasty right now. And I would probably say we had some dark rainbow rosin, and that was really good.
Dark rainbow. That does sound kind of fire. It kind of sounds dark and mysterious, but also delicious and Skittles gassiness, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's a little funky.
Let's go. That sounds fun. We got some other cool ones. This one's gonna be letting you kind of freestyle and do your thing for right now. If you were gonna throw the ultimate music and cannabis event, right, and you were tasked specifically with booking the talent, 3-day festival, who's your headliners and what day?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. So I guess you have to go. You have to go Wiz. I mean, just because it's classic. And then I would say Wiz, Snoop, and Burner if you're just trying to throw a big banger of the most prevalent kind of common day people.
Yeah,
Willie. Yeah,
Willie. What music do you listen to? What about for you? Fuck that. What's your dream headliners? My
dream headliner. Okay, all right. Let's get Mexican OT out there.
Okay. He said dream headliner, just went straight to Mexican OT. I'll fuck with it.
No, I like Mexican OT a lot. He raps about blowing down. So yeah, but no, we got to stick with Snoop. I think Snoop kills it everywhere he goes. He's just been doing it so long. He's perfected the craft. So like, you get down with it.
Yeah.
And
all right, last day.
Who's blown it out of the water for everybody? Man, I'm blanking here, but I'm gonna say let's just do Gucci.
Oh, Gucci, man. I like it. That sounds like a fun weekend, man. I love it. I would remix yours and just do Taylor Gang as a whole.
Okay.
Throw in the surprise guest of Snoop up there with Wiz next to Chevy, all that. I'd bring back Mac Miller for the next day and have Mac Miller and friends, whatever that.
Oh, I didn't know this was on the table.
Hey man, I said dream lineup,
You're
lineup,
right. You're right.
and then because there's nothing like listening to some of Wiz's music while smoking. Some of the old shit, there's just nothing like it. And then let's see, what's the last one going to be? Oh, I'd have to go Nip. I'm a big Nip guy, so you got. Oh, he's on. Yeah, he's over there. But I'd have to go. I'd have to go those sets for me. I think that's fantastic. All right, now circling back, let's get back to some serious questions real quick. Smokey River, what do you guys got coming up the rest of the year? What's on the plan? What's on the agenda? You guys got any cool products you can share, talk about? What do you guys got coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like I kind of touched on earlier, we're going to be dropping those rosin disposable vapes very soon by 7/10. So we're doing that on 420 by 7/10. We'd like to have all of our live concentrate and disposable vapes, just so that way it's our best foot forward out on the market. And cartridges, they're kind of they don't deliver, like we talked about. It's not the experience we really want the customer to have.
Mm-hmm.
Moving forward with that, we are probably going to drop different varieties of how much concentrate you can buy, whether it be a 2-gram jar, 4-gram jar, go up to 7 grams, just because no one's really doing that. There's not a lot of variety. You get 1 gram or you get an eighth.
Yeah, I think in Michigan I got a 3.5 gram jar of some live resin, and then I got in Missouri a really good blue Mosa from Illicit. That was a 3.5 gram jar too. It'd be, okay. I mean, good oil should definitely be given in different formats. I 100% agree with that.
With that, we have some. We're trying to dabble in really, really top tier hash.
Mm-hmm.
So people have rosin, and it's out right now. But there's a lot you can do with just cured, really good.
You guys have the pre-rolls. Any plans on the horizon to get hash rolls? Is that a thing for y'all?
So yes and no.
He's like, yeah, I use our products to roll hash rolls. They taste
all the time.
No, he's like, yeah, I can think of all the hash rolls I smoke.
So we do want that. It's just there's a lot of people doing it in the market right now. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but there's a couple people that they do it really well, and we could come in and compete with them, or we could pivot and kind of try and find our own niche where I think we could thrive and let everybody eat in their own domain, and they can kill it in the hash hole domain. People drop, and I'm in favor of doing a limited edition. Maybe once a quarter we drop 1,000 hash holes, and they're going to be gas. So go and scoop them. But I don't see that being a big driving factor behind our
No, for sure. Just that creative opportunity. I can totally feel that as a potential direction there. So talked a little bit about some of the stuff coming up next. That's solid, man. Missouri as a whole, what are your thoughts on the market? If you obviously are in the streets, you don't have to speak for the entire market, but what are your thoughts on the state of the market, where things are at? What are you seeing? Just anything that really stands out to you there. It's such a vague question, but I'll let you take it a direction and kind of have the floor for it.
I think this state is an insatiable beast when it comes to marijuana.
They smoke a lot there, huh?
Yeah. The people, they love it. And oh my God, it's going crazy. And no, so it's just, it seems like every time we think there's a ceiling of how much weed people want to smoke, they want to smoke more. And they always keep buying weed, and it's very innovative. As the market has matured to this point that it's gotten to, for the longest time, you've seen edibles just be distillate in gummies in different shapes, as someone once told me. And I think that's the truest thing I've ever heard. And now you're getting more interesting edibles. You're getting the cookies, you're getting the brownie bites, you're getting the cotton candy. And that, to me, is exciting. It means our market isn't going to be so pinpointed.
Yeah, innovation is definitely happening.
Yeah. And that's all we can dream for, right? Hopefully that will mean in the coming years there's going to be cooler events, there's going to be cooler tech, and I'm still seeing I guess that's another new thing. is the hardware, the technology that I see every year is, it always surprises me. I think I've seen it all. And then the next year you go to a convention and someone's like, have you seen this? And I haven't actually. And it's very cool. So seeing the new products people are dropping is probably the best thing in the market. And also seeing how well received marijuana has been in what I've heard is traditionally not a, you know, it's a pretty conservative area, right? So the fact that now everybody's smoking weed, everyone's grandma and grandpa and their mom and, you know, your uncle that would have shamed you 4 years ago is like, have you tried those gummies? That's a huge shift in the market. Also, as we mature in the market, I see the older cats that came in and they were super big on disty are now asking what hash rosin is.
Yeah.
And they aren't just a super quick to go, oh, give me the 90% THC. They understand kind of like a full body whiskey, right? That you want all of those notes, all of the terpenes, the cannabinoids in that, not just a straight to the head disty hit. And that is a shift in the market that you're seeing as well.
Yeah, you feel like people are going in and asking for different things now after a period of time. They're starting to, all right, yeah, this worked for me. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me get this and make sure it's this one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, that's the progression. That's the progression of the customer, right? And it takes time. It takes repetitions. It also takes mistakes being made, right? That's the other part of it on both sides of that fence is, it takes bud tenders making their decisions, their recommendations, and maybe that's the right or wrong one, but that's their rec, right? Like that's what it is. Someone's got to, discover that it works or didn't work. I always find that just edibles that decide now I just use edibles for sleep primarily, or pain. And it's like, when I'm just taking something during the day, I just find myself getting dry cotton mouth, which is so funny.
Yeah.
But when I find myself drinking a glass of water before I go to bed, I take the gummy, I sleep for 4 to 6 hours, and I wake up wide awake, and kind of go back about my day and feel so refreshed. And so my recommendation to anybody is give these sleep gummies a chance. Reach out if you guys have any questions. We've got about 5 minutes left in the episode, everybody. So we're going to get to the good final round of questions, some quick hot takes. What do you say, Hunter? Are you ready for some quick hot take questions or what?
Yep. I'll try my best.
Nothing too crazy, I promise. All right. If you could hotbox any famous landmark with Smokey River products, where would it be? What are you smoking or vaping or dabbing or whatever it is?
Hotbox any famous landmark? That's a really good question. It would have to be, I think the Oval Office would be pretty cool, right?
Oh, that's dope. Great idea.
Yeah. If I couldn't do the Oval Office, I would probably want to do a monument of some like a temple, maybe inside like an old pyramid.
Might I recommend the inside of the Statue of Liberty?
Yeah. You ever play?
If we're able to, I've never been up there, but that would be cool.
Yeah, I've been on a ferry past the Statue of Liberty. I've never gone onto the island or anything, but yeah,
that would be sick. Okay, all right, that's a good one. I like it. We're getting you warmed up.
How about you?
Oh, that's a good one. Any historical monument, and it's hotbox any famous landmark. Hotbox any famous landmark. What would it be? So I'm thinking like something where I can be inside. You know what I mean? That's kind of why I said that, inside the Statue of Liberty. I don't know if you can go inside. I have no clue. But I think it'd be really cool to throw a big ass weed party and hotbox the inside of the Seattle Space Needle. There's a whole restaurant up there. Like,
okay.
You know what the Space Needle is?
Yeah.
So it's like, if we got the beautiful windows, there's the view, it kind of makes your heart feel like, oh my God, and there's a wonderful restaurant in there. So that would be would be really cool. It's less on the holy cow historical landmark, like the Statue of Liberty or, stuff, some waterfall.
That's still pretty dope, though.
But I think for me, being the PN dub, like that would be super sick in my world. Whether if you were stranded on an island, right?
Okay.
You had only one product and the necessary tools or devices to consume it, what would it be?
One product and the necessary
Because you
Okay,
guys have
so
dabs and stuff too, so it's like you
yeah,
might
yeah,
need
yeah,
it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
might need
Okay,
some.
okay, 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 okay. So I would definitely. I'm a big concentrate cat, so it either be that or edibles. But I enjoy the act of smoking more than I
Mhm.
do eating. So
Mm.
all day I'm stuck on an island. What am I? I'm blowing down. So I'm gonna take some hot and hearty dabs opposed to just eating a
That's
thousand
fair.
milli vanillas.
Especially if you have the tools.
Yeah, yeah,
You might be able to use those tools to create some kind of hemp rope to lasso wrangle up a couple of sea turtles like Johnny Depp.
yeah. Did I mention I only dab with a knife?
Oh, yeah, see.
I'm kidding.
This is funny. Okay, this is a random one, but not so random because I'm interested. Do you eat barbecue?
I do everything except pork. I don't eat the pork side of
Okay.
barbecue.
In your opinion, professionally, as a human who eats
Okay.
barbecue but not pork, if I were to pull up on you, where do I go for barbecue? This is an important question. This is life or death.
Ooh. Okay, so we go at the lab. So keep in mind it's in Dearborn.
Okay, so I'm heading to Dearborn.
Okay, and this is just we go to lunch there maybe every other week. It's a little place in a small town called Smithville.
So not Dearborn. We're Dearborn, then Smithville.
Yeah, Dearborn, then Smithville. We're taking a hike. There's nothing in Dearborn but nice people and cows, and so we're heading south to Smithville, and we're gonna stop by Chops Barbecue. It's a little
Chops.
place that when you walk in, it's got like the tablecloth is brown like packing paper rolled out across the table, and they leave
There
a
we
thing
go.
of crayons on the table, so that way
Nice.
you can doodle on the paper while you wait for your food.
Amazing.
Yeah, good barbecue.
Good
I'd
barbecue,
recommend it.
good vibes. Inspires creativity, barbecue creativity. This is incredible. I love it. Chops. Guys, this was a smoke filled episode, man. I smoked a joint. We learned a lot about Smokey River today. He's given us some good smoky barbecue energy here to end it. Um, Man, Hunter, thank you so much for being a guest on the show today.
Thank you,
Smokey
thank you.
River Cannabis is doing some really exciting things. You guys can visit their Instagram at Smokey River Cannabis, all one word, no spaces, no underscore, just Smokey River Cannabis. They've got some really, really cool photos. Actually, you know what? We're going to go ahead and pull it up just before we get you out of here. Go ahead and might as well, right? Let's do it. If you guys look right here, you guys can see how cool these photos look. Um, they've got the vapes, the gummies. Look, they're pouring out the gummy mixture. Look at that sweet, sweet disty. I love it, dude. And then we've got, or maybe this is live resin. What does it
No,
say?
that's our disty. And
Yep.
then
Mid 90s. And then look at this. We've got some rosin over here, lemon cookie OG rosin. This was just literally a month ago. So you guys have some really, really cool. Look at this right here, folks. Look at that. Premium rosin washing the fresh frozen nugs right here. Look at that. We
yeah,
call
that's a
that
how-to.
massaging it down by hand. Wow. Part of me is being kind of dramatic and facetious with that right now, but like it was slow mode and being pushed down by hand. That's as done by hand as it gets, you guys. Like, regardless of my humor or not, that's I
We
think
like
it's
to be
super
a
cool,
part of it,
man.
man.
Yeah, no, man, I love it, dude. Like the reality is, it takes then a level of attention to detail that is not adhered to when it comes to most brands to create a great product, and to do it consistently over time is tough. In this industry, it's very tough to survive. And so, my man's is ripping the bizong over here. Let's go. Is that a dab rig? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's a puff cup.
30. Let's go. Um, Hunter, at this time of the episode, I'd like to give you the floor to, share any information that you might be willing to share that could help somebody, whether it's a dispensary buying from you guys, or if it's a regular person out there in a parking lot ready and looking for a great product. If you could just speak to those people and let them know about your brand and why they should choose you guys, I think that would be super helpful.
Okay, so you should choose us because we're a Missouri-born brand. Okay, we're a small team that really cares about what we do. Every single one of us has a background in cannabis that we brought from all walks of life to this lab to produce a product that we personally choose to consume in our everyday lives, right? And that's why our lineup is so broad, because we wanted a guaranteed good product in all of these aspects of life that we know we made, and we can go out and we can consume something we made. We're very prideful of every single product we make. You will never be disappointed in our gummies. Our recipe is smacker dacker every time. It's the most affordable gummy on the market. So even if you're on the fence, I know a lot of people are really diehard to their brand.
Yeah. Like I don't buy a lot of candy outside of peanut M&Ms. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And so whether or not it's you want a free sample to try it to, change your mind, those are available at a lot of dispensaries. I run around with them like I'm a candy man. And so that, along with our affordable concentrate that is top tier, along with everybody else, we source our flower from the companies that are, selling this top tier, top price, right? And we have extraction SOPs that are just as good, if not better, than a lot of the contenders. And we're still cheaper than they are market price, right? And that's just
give them a chance, folks. They're affordable and it's delicious. Really a no-brainer. If not, buy one for someone else as a friend. Cheap gift. Let's go. Affordable gift.
Exactly.
Let's go, man. Well, Hunter, again, I really appreciate your time. It was great to learn about you and I think your story is it's unique and it's inspiring, and I'm sure there's other people out there that made friends through video gaming, right? And ultimately had some crazy life-changing moments with them. And it sounds like you have really enjoyed this new journey that you're on and this path that you're really trailblazing there in Missouri. It's a new state for cannabis. It's really, really, as you said, insatiable, which means that they're hungry, they're thirsty, they want it. They want all the gummies, all the edibles, all the vapes, better rosin, better live, all the things. They want all of it, and they want more of it, right?
Yes,
it's the middle of the country too. This is farmland area, folks. So it's really cool that Missouri is in action here and doing some great things. Big shout out to Smokey River Cannabis for their hard work and for rocking with us here today on the RMR Podcast Network. This is the second official episode of the Missouri Cannabis Podcast, brought to you guys by Trees. I'm Joey J. Ping. This is Hunter Eads, man, head of sales, Smokey River. Make sure y'all tap in. Dispensaries, get your orders together, send them over to him, or reach out to me and I'll get them over to him. We don't care. We just got to pick up Smokey River. It's as simple as that. Hunter, thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the platform, being able to talk to everybody, wanting to listen to me. You're a great conversation to have, and you ever want to have another one, just let me know.
Let's go. Hey, if anybody has any questions for the next time we link up, be sure to send them over via email, info@respectmyregion.com, or drop a comment. I will watch the comments and pay attention to that on our YouTube channel, so be sure to tap in. Hey, y'all, talk shit about me, but support these guys. Smokey River Cannabis.